Russia's navy has been operating with virtually no constraints for far too long. Vessels and submarines have continuously ventured into NATO territories, hovering near undersea cables and other vital infrastructure where they clearly shouldn't have been. The disruption they created appeared almost unrestrained for months, providing Moscow with a quiet upper hand and a means to demonstrate strength well beyond its borders. However, that era is now coming to an end. Norway and the United Kingdom have revealed a groundbreaking partnership designed to confront these dangers directly. They're establishing a new initiative created specifically to observe, track, and when required, counter Russian ships encroaching into waters controlled by NATO. This synchronized maritime operation delivers an unmistakable signal to Vladimir Putin. Hybrid warfare tactics that take advantage of undersea weaknesses will no longer be accepted by NATO. On December 3rd, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer officially announced this partnership. His remarks were straightforward and definitive. With increasing numbers of Russian vessels appearing in our territories, collaboration with international allies is essential to safeguard our national security. He highlighted that this cooperation with Norway is unprecedented, both in magnitude and in the depth of coordination between two NATO allies that haven't worked together at this level previously. Confirmed reports indicate the strategy involves positioning at least 13 Type 26 frigates throughout the waters encircling Greenland, Iceland, and the UK, representing a major deployment of anti-submarine warfare ASW capabilities. At least 5 ships will come from Norway, with the UK supplying the other 8. The consistent mention of at least indicates both countries retain the option to expand their commitments as the initiative develops. The choice to deploy Type 26 frigates was intentional. These ships are specifically engineered for locating and engaging submarines, offering NATO a considerable enhancement in undersea surveillance capacity. The patrol locations of these vessels are equally vital as the ships themselves. The maritime region spanning Greenland, Iceland, and the UK, known collectively as the GI-UK Gap, holds tremendous strategic significance. Frequently neglected following the Cold War, this passage has re-emerged as a primary focus for NATO strategists. The International Institute for Strategic Studies notes that the GI-UK Gap functions as a possible transit pathway for naval units. While its geography benefits defenders, it's not exclusively one-sided. Submarines moving northward from the Atlantic are forced through these waters, and throughout history, this has established it as a crucial bottleneck. The gap also presents notoriously difficult conditions. Dangerous weather patterns, freezing temperatures, and powerful ocean currents combine to create operational challenges. Nevertheless, Russia has extensively trained its navy for operations in this environment. Military exercises dating back to October 2019 featured 10 Russian submarines in the GI-UK Gap, evaluating NATO's detection and response capabilities. Moscow's clear intention was utilizing this passage to deploy submarines into the Atlantic without detection, an alert that NATO couldn't disregard. The UK and Norway are now implementing a comprehensive response at last. In addition to deploying vessels, both nations are pledging shared technology, maintenance protocols, and training programs, guaranteeing their frigates function as an integrated force. Norway's ships will gain from the UK's knowledge in crew preparation and Arctic missions, while Royal Marines will receive continuous Arctic training in Norway, refining their capabilities to function in severe cold and engage in collaborative wargaming scenarios. The UK will additionally integrate Norwegian cruise missiles into its surface fleet, strengthening the combined forces' offensive potential. This alliance isn't instantaneous. Type 26 frigates remain in construction, with initial deployments anticipated in 2028. Complete operational presence across the GI-UK Gap might not materialize until 2035, subject to manufacturing timelines and Norway's procurement schedule. Though this creates a postponement, NATO possesses current resources that can address some deficiencies. T-8 maritime patrol aircraft and earlier Type 23 frigates deliver temporary ASW capabilities, providing Russia merely a narrow time frame to take advantage of the GI-UK Gap before the Type 26 fleet reaches full operational status. The Type 26 itself signifies a major advancement in naval technology. Built for contemporary warfare, these frigates displace roughly 6,900 tons and reach speeds up to 26 knots. Their operational range of 7,000 nautical miles enables them to monitor extensive ocean areas for prolonged durations without requiring refueling. The vessels feature the Artisan 3D surveillance radar, which can monitor up to 800 targets concurrently across distances surpassing 200 kilometers, even when facing advanced jamming technologies. This radar system has undergone thorough testing and currently operates on UK frigates and aircraft carriers, providing the Type 26 with an unparalleled detection edge against stealthy Russian submarines. Anti-submarine warfare forms the core of the Type 20 SIXS architecture. Acoustically silent hulls, electric propulsion, diesel generators, and a gas turbine direct drive reduce underwater sound signatures. A towed sonar system delivers both active and passive detection capabilities, including torpedo alerts. When paired with vertical launch platforms for sea scepter missiles, unmanned aerial and underwater craft, and anti-torpedo defenses, the Type 26 becomes a comprehensive platform equipped to protect NATO objectives against diverse undersea and airborne dangers. The GIUK gap itself separates into two main zones: a 200-mile section between Iceland and Greenland and a 500-mile section between Scotland and Iceland. Type 26 frigates, with their extended range sensors and endurance capabilities, are perfectly designed to monitor these regions. Through surveillance of these bottlenecks, NATO can block Russian submarines from accessing the Atlantic or Arctic undetected, eliminating what could be the most critical element of Moscow's regional naval strength. Throughout history, the UK has depended on controlling strategic maritime bottlenecks to protect its national interests. The GIUK gap, together with Gibraltar, has remained fundamental to this strategy. Only a handful of allied countries, France, Spain, Portugal, could pose threats to the UK through Europe, and Russia remained largely restricted. Currently, with Moscow upgrading its submarine capabilities, including nuclear-powered Yazan M-class vessels equipped for launching ballistic missiles, the risks are substantially greater. The Type 26 frigate deployment therefore represents not merely a deterrent, but a proactive measure to guarantee NATO can sustain undersea dominance. Russian hybrid strategies reach beyond direct maritime confrontation. Continuous intrusions into NATO territories, disruption of undersea cables, and even pipeline sabotage reveal Moscow's readiness to attack critical infrastructure. These cables and pipelines sustain gas distribution, internet connectivity, and communication systems, meaning any organized assault could disrupt essential services throughout Europe. Through patrolling the GIUK gap, the UK and Norway aren't simply countering submarines. They're additionally safeguarding crucial undersea networks from possible disruption. In recent times, Russian ships have escalated their activity in NATO waters. UK intelligence documents a 30% rise in Russian naval operations over the past 2 years, while Norway confronts comparable threats given its 120-mile land boundary with Russia. From 2022 through early 2025, Russian presence in UK waters was identified at least 42 times, highlighting the critical need for a robust, coordinated strategy. Through merging their naval capabilities, technology, and training resources, the UK and Norway are creating a powerful anti-submarine and maritime security operation. The partnership will fulfill multiple objectives: protecting NATO's essential undersea infrastructure, discouraging Russian submarine activities, and demonstrating to Moscow that hybrid warfare approaches will no longer remain uncontested. The Type 26 frigate, upon reaching full deployment, will revolutionize the strategic environment. Russian submarines penetrating the GIUK gap will encounter sophisticated sonar systems, long-range radar monitoring, unmanned surveillance equipment, and multi-layered defensive and offensive armament systems. The integration of Norwegian and UK vessels guarantees that no craft can readily traverse the corridor undetected. Fundamentally, this represents NATO's declaration of purpose. The GIUK gap has ceased being a passive transit corridor for Russian operations. It has become a heavily defended strategic bottleneck. For Putin, this creates a predicament. He must either accept the risk of detection and confrontation or modify his naval strategies to circumvent one of the North Atlantic's most vital waterways. The implications reach beyond immediate maritime conflicts. Russian submarines possess nuclear missile capabilities, and ongoing hybrid operations endanger the stability of NATO communications and energy infrastructure. Securing the GIUK gap therefore transcends simply maintaining maritime superiority. It concerns protecting the integrity of NATO member states themselves. In summary, the UK and Norway's program represents a comprehensive long-term strategy to address Russia's undersea challenge. From collaborative technology and Arctic preparation to the eventual introduction of advanced Type 26 frigates, this partnership marks a significant stride in re-establishing equilibrium in the North Atlantic. The GIUK gap, previously neglected, has now returned decisively to the forefront of NATO's strategic planning. For Russia, this indicates a diminishing opportunity to capitalize on undersea weaknesses. For NATO, it's a resolute action to preserve undersea superiority, protect critical infrastructure, and deliver an unambiguous message. Hybrid warfare will not remain unchallenged.